Hi everyone, Tori here with another scrapbooking process video, and this one is called Lovely. And I just want to say before I start telling you what I'm doing that I am super excited about this layout. You know, I make a lot of pages and I like most of them, but every once in a while I make a page that I just love, that I just look at it and I go, wow, I'm really impressed with myself. Like, I just really love the way that this page turned out. So I'm super excited to share it with you because it's really pretty in my eyes. So I hope you enjoy it too, because it was a really fun layout to make too, because I used mixed media and things like that. And then I got to use lots of ephemera and a really beautiful photo of my mom, my typewriter. It's okay. Well, maybe I'll just let you watch it and then I'll explain what I'm doing too. So I started this paper, which I didn't show you on screen, but first what I did was I used some gesso and I covered the background with gesso. Then I used a circle stencil, I think from Heidi Swap, and added some modeling paste just around the page, just sporadic. Now what I'm doing now, or what you've sort of been seeing me do here, is adding just different mediums on the back. So I started with some Mr. Huey spray mists, and I used those and I put them on some packaging and then just sort of smushed the packaging on the background. I then grabbed some Heidi Swap Color Shine in pink and smushed that on the background. Then I used some gelatos in pinks, purples, and reds, smushed that on the packaging, added some water, and then smushed it onto the layout. Then I just added some gold Mr. Huey's and just sprayed that on the page. And now I am just using my heat gun to heat that up. And this is currently at 4 times the speed, but I'm going to speed it up a little bit more because this whole entire process actually takes me a long time. So next what I did is I grabbed some more Mr. Huey's. I think this is called Sunburst or something. I sprayed it, then I grabbed some water and sprayed that. And then I grabbed the pink Color Shine from Heidi Swap, sprayed that with water. Then let it run, dabbed off some of the extra paint. Then I grabbed my gelatos in red, pinks, and purples. I put those on, sprayed them with water, and then I used a wet baby wipe to smush those. Again, I grabbed some gold Mr. Huey's, and okay, so the truth is, I have no clue what I'm doing here, but I knew that I wanted to use like pinks and purples on this layout, mostly pinks, but I also wanted just a little bit of purple to, because I thought it would be pretty. And then the gold, I think it just looks really pretty on there, and I just love pink and gold together. So I like the way that that works out. So while it's still wet, I grab a purple Mr. Huey's, the reddish pink Mr. Huey's that I'm using, and the gold Mr. Huey's, and tap that to create splatters. And they sort of, because the page is wet, it sort of spreads out and it looks really pretty. Now once that's dry, I start with this element on the page that I've really wanted to do for a long time. I wanted to use a whole pack of ephemera, or I don't actually use the whole pack, but I wanted to use a ton of a pack of ephemera on one layout. So that's what I'm doing here. So on this layout, I am using the Maggie Holmes Open Book Collection ephemera flower and leaf kind of pack, and it comes with all of these beautiful flowers. So I am going to be sticking with mostly the pinks, corals, peaches, a little bit of green, and the gold of flowers. And basically, there's no rhyme or reason other than I want a ton of them and I want them all layered, and I want them to be about a third of the way in from that right hand side. and I just stick a whole ton of them down. I'm using my hot glue gun to do this because I love my hot glue gun. It's cheap, it's easy, and it's quick, so I just put one dollop of glue on there and stick it in. So once I had stuck down the flowers, I knew that I wanted to add some leaves just to sort of add a little bit more dimension there. And so there were these beautiful gold leaves and also this beautiful pink one, and they're sparkly, and I put those on there just to add a little bit more interest to it. The really fun thing about this ephemera pack is it comes with like printed ones, but it also comes with vellum and sparkly gold pieces, and so I sort of use all of those in this giant photo cluster along that side, and I absolutely love the way that it turns out. Like, I'm so happy. It just makes me so excited. And I mean, it might be a waste of ephemera kit to use it all on once, but the truth is I have so much in my stash. Well, okay, I don't really have that much in my stash because I have to keep my stash in check because I scrapbook in my bedroom. But the thing is with scrapbooking is I'd rather use the stuff that I love and use it and enjoy using it. And if I use it all up on one page and it makes me happy, well, then I'm going to do that. Rather than hoarding stuff and never getting to use it, I'd rather use the stuff that I love and make pages like this that make me really happy. So anyways, so once I was finished with that, I just trimmed off any excess flowers that were hanging over because I had put them over the layout just a little bit. And this is the photo that I'm going to be using on this layout. It's a photo of my mom, and it was taken at the wedding that we attended for a friend, and I just thought she looked so beautiful and happy and carefree in this photo. I think she was actually laughing when I took this photo, and I just sort of snapped it, and I think she just looks pretty. So I wanted to make a layout just about my mom and all the wonderful things I think about her. So I'm going to create like a layered section underneath the photo, and I decided to use this beautiful tag that I received in the Lee Street scrapbook kit from Studio Calico, as well as this vellum with little gold triangles on it, and I believe that came in the daffodil add-on. I'm also just using some other papers from the kits just to create some layers. One of them had like a ledger on it, and I used that to just put it behind there. And then I decided, you know what, I just want to take a break and figure out which paper I want to put behind this. And this black and white pattern paper that I just had is my favorite. It's the one that I chose because I just love, 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 love the contrast it creates. You've got this like really pretty, girly front part and then this like bold geometric print behind it. I just love it. So at first I was going to put the top layer on it just like a square, but then I thought, you know what would be really pretty? If those flowers, if I fussy cut around them and had those be on that right hand side and had more of that geometric print. So that's just what I'm doing now, is I'm just sort of trimming around those flowers so that I can have more of a layered look on that side. And I love that the way this turned out. At first when I was doing it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm making a mistake, I'm ruining it. But I thought, you know, no pain, no gain. So I trimmed that, and then I'm going to adhere that top layer down to that geometric print on the back. Oh, and what I was showing you is while the camera was shut off, I just added a little strip of that geometric print behind the photo of my mom because I wanted to bring that into the layers. So I just cut it out of the middle of that background paper. The next thing I did is add score tape onto the background paper as well as that front paper. And this is just Express-It score tape from Copic, and it's super strong and super sticky. And I just am using that because the top is a little warped, so I wanted to really stick it down and make sure it was really stuck really good. Once I stuck that down, I just use my fingers to pull up the edges of the paper and also the edges of those flower layers just to make it more dimensional. While I was off screen, I grabbed this pretty yellow floral paper as well as a doily just to add to the layers behind my photo, which I thought would be pretty. And I found some other just embellishments that I had in my stash that I wanted to use, like this transparent flower with the, it's like a burgundy color on it. And I'm going to use that as one of the layering elements in this sort of cluster of with the photo. And I am using my tiny attacher just to place a staple in the middle of my layers. That way if I want to slide anything in or tuck anything in, I still can. So I've decided that on that tag, I will do my journaling, which I did off screen. I used my typewriter to do that. And then I'm going to tuck that in behind the photo and use the photo sort of as a pocket for that tag. And I've done this before, and I just love that maybe like some journaling that's a little more personal, it can still be on the page, but maybe you don't have to read it right away. But if you were maybe going through the album, it would be like a fun little surprise to pull it out. It'd be like Christmas to find some journaling about my mom behind the photo. And what I'm using is my hot glue gun just to adhere those layers. I found this cute little crochet circle in my stash that I knew that I wanted to use, especially since I've been organizing my stash, trying to pare it down, and I want to use more of my stash. So I think it's a perfect way to use that. Next, I'm gluing down those layers, and I'm putting glue along 3 edges and leaving the top edge empty so that my tag can go through the top. And I love adding tags with ribbon on the top, so I had this really pretty like cream ribbon in my stash as well, and I decided to adhere that through the whole of this tag. That way there would be something to pull the tag out with. And I'm also going to just cut those into little triangles and add a dollop of glue just to make that stay. And I thought I would also use this hemp to just add something a little more, I don't know what it adds. I just like it. So I tied that around the ribbon as well. Then I went to stick it in, and it was a little big. So I just grabbed my scissors and trimmed a teeny bit off of each side so that my tag with my journaling would slip perfectly in there. And I love the ribbon and just that little extra oomph that it has behind the photo. Now to add some more embellishment to the page. In the cluster of flowers, there was one pink glitter flower, and I thought, I have some glitter ribbon in my stash that's the exact same color, and maybe I could add a little bit of it to the photo cluster just to bring that color in again. So I went and looked, and it was exactly the right color. So I cut a little fishtail banner into it, and I stuck that to the left-hand corner of the photo. And now I'm just going to go to embellish the page. When I was in Winnipeg, some friends on Facebook or Instagram told me to visit the Scrapbook Cottage, which is a scrapbooking store in Winnipeg. Woot woot if you're in Winnipeg. And while I was there, I found this really cute Webster's Pages charms. They're little 4-piece bouquets or whatever. And one of them was broken, but I don't really mind. I used the one flower. And I also used the whole piece on the top left-hand corner of the photo. And it's just so stinking pretty. Oh, love girly things like that. Now what I'm doing is just going through my stash, and I grabbed a resin flower, a pink one, and I decided to put that in the flower cluster along that. I don't even know what you can call that. I don't think you can call it a flower cluster. Maybe it's a flower garden. Yes, put it in the flower garden that you see on the right hand side of my page. Next, I grabbed some of these pink and gold phrases, and they are from the 7 paper collection from Studio Calico, but they also came in this month's kit. And I just stuck a whole bunch of those down there, like moments, fantastic, good times, beautiful, today. And then I also stuck some under the photo that says you are remarkable, amazing, and awesome. That's underneath the photo, the ones that I put there. Then I'm going to go through my stash and see what else I can find. And I found these really beautiful plus signs in pink and gold. And I'm going to stick some of those in my flower garden. I love creating embellishment clusters or gardens like this, where I use like similar colors, and it just adds so much dimension. So I'm going to do that here. So I've used the resin flowers, I've used the word stickers, then I used the plus signs, and now I'm using some enamel dots. And these enamel dots, I'm using a ton of them. They come from the My Mind's Eye On Trend collection. And I stick those there, and then I'm like, it's not done yet, it needs more. And I decide, you know what it needs? Buttons, because I mean, I've got a whole bunch of my other favorite embellishments on this page, so why not grab some buttons? And so I go through my stash and I find some pink and peach buttons to just layer along that flower garden, and I'm basically color matching, so I find a flower that's sort of the same color and then I stick it there. And I stuck also some clear ones that were really pretty, and I also grabbed one orange one which matched like a coral orange flower at the top there. And you know what this reminds me of? I did a layout a little while ago that had like so many embellishments on it, and one of you lovely people who follow me on YouTube, who I cannot think of what your name is right now, was like, Tori, step away from the craft table. And this is probably what you're thinking right now. But you know what? I love this page so much, and I don't even care that it weighs 10 pounds. It doesn't actually, but it weighs a lot because it's got so much stuff on it, and it just makes me so happy. I know that when I put it in my album, I'll be flipping through and I'll get to this page and I'll just stop because I just love it so much. And I think about adding more buttons on the page, and then I think, you know what? I think 10 buttons in that garden are enough. I also added one pink one to that beautiful crochet doily circle, just because I thought it would be pretty there. And then I'm thinking, is there anything else that I want to add to this page? I have this, I was thinking maybe some clips or pins might work, so I was going through my paper clips and I found this really pretty paper clip, but it didn't work exactly what I wanted. And then I had this one that had, it's on a bobby pin, it's like 2014, and I thought, oh, this is perfect, I need to use that soon because these photos are from 2014, and I wanted it there, except for I didn't really like the bobby pin part of it. It stuck up in a weird way, so I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna cadaver this. Grab my scissors, tried that, nope, too strong, so then I just broke it. So now all it has is the 2014, and I hot glue gunned that down. And then I'm like, well, maybe I can still get this paper clip on here. And I try a couple places, and then I just give up because it doesn't actually work anywhere. And I'm like, there is enough stuff on this page, Tori. I don't need to add this. So then I thought it was done, but then I realized I forgot a title. So I turned the camera back on to add a title. So I used this beautiful foam sparkly word that came in the daffodil kit, I think. And also 2 little hearts, and I added that around the words lovely and stuck that down well. And then I'm like, Now, I think it's done. Now, one thing I did forget to do on camera was stamp the date, but I used a roller date stamp and I put it in that bottom left-hand corner, and you can see the date in the still photos, which I'll show you next. Other than that, the page is done. It's pretty awesome. It weighs a lot, but it's super sparkly and it's super me, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye, everyone.